It's going to be a night that ends in Y. Why is it all going wrong? So we're being broadcast live tonight, of course, on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live, and also in on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Again, hope you're all having a good day. And no matter how you are listening, make sure you stop in and say hi in one of the chat rooms, or you can send me an email at wildpaisley@gmail.com. That's WILDEPAISLEY If you want to support the show, you can definitely do so by going to, www.paisleywild.com. And that is PAISLEYWILDE.com. And on TFR, of course, the call line is open, and that number is 213-233-3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK, it is 44203-393-2871. Hi, Marie. How is your Sunday going today, love? I am not actually pain-free, but I am pain-coping. I seem to be having just a fantabulous seasonal allergy season. And, yeah, that's an adventure. And with the seasonal allergies this year, I seem to be getting the extra migraines. So, yeah. Not quite like Nightshade. Nightshade in chat room. Apparently, alley-ooped. Yeah, alley-ooped and got to encounter some morphine. So I hear that's a new thing. Oh, goodness. And Marie has a cold. Wow, slight sore throat. You same here. My sinuses are draining, but because of the allergies. Yeah. I've got honey in my coffee. Because, yeah, honey's good for your sore throat. So's dark chocolate, by the way. In case you didn't know. Dark chocolate is actually better for you than most cough drops. Even though you can't see him or hear him, Mr. Don Longbeard is in the house. He's eating just a bit. He is avoiding the honey. Don doesn't do honey. Apparently he doesn't like bees that much. Anyway, so yeah, wow. It's been a long week. I don't even remember. Was I on last Saturday? I don't remember.
Yes.
All right, so I was on Saturday. Oh my. Miss Lucky is watching us on a big screen.
Woohoo!
Yay, I'm on the big screen. Don't look. I didn't pluck the whisker off my chin.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Thanks, Lucky. I hope you're having a good time in the warm desert south. Yeah. Let's see. I had a thought. It was going somewhere, and apparently it flew away completely. So, yeah, this year I get to deal with the sinuses, of course, because it's allergy season here in the Pacific Northwest. In the last 36 hours, so many things have bloomed finally because it warmed up a little bit and the sun came out briefly and now it's raining. But yeah, I don't know quite what exactly it is that's blooming right now that's kicking my butt, but wow, it's a doozy. And so yeah, if I sniffle and snot, I'm sorry. It's not the COVID, it's the sinuses. It's something I've noticed. Yeah, les couf. I've noticed that allergy season seems to have completely disappeared, and it's now COVID season year-round. I do live in the Pacific Northwest where hunting is quite a big deal. So, do you get hunting permits for COVID season? How many tags do you get for the viruses? Viri?
I think it might be a lottery. Am I on?
You're on my end. You may not have pushed the button on your end.
There.
Oh, hey, Mr. Don.
Hey, it's a different microphone than I'm used to.
Yeah.
It's done by lottery.
Oh, so the lottery system.
Yeah.
Nightshade says Beltane will be interesting. Happy SBET to everyone. So yeah, it's a full moon coming up. So is the first official supermoon of 2021 is this month, and here in the northern hemisphere, the full moon will reach its fullest phase about 11:31 p.m. Eastern time, on Monday, April 26th. And so yeah, it's the pink moon. Why is it called the pink moon? Do you know why? Crickets. So it's the pink moon because, hey, the flowers are blooming. Crab apples are pink. And basically, yeah, it's the flowers are blooming. That's why it's pink moon. And let's see, there are actually two supermoons this year. One is this month and one is later. Actually, it's May 26th, so they'll be done earlier. And the reason why they're called supermoons is because the moon appears about 7% bigger.
7%? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 7 to 15% bigger than a typical full moon. So, and generally you can't tell the difference unless they are side by side, of course, in the night sky, which doesn't generally happen. But yeah. So, phlox, the pink phlox, is also known as a creeping phlox or the moss phlox, is where the pink comes from for this, the pink moon in April. It is also referred to as the breaking ice moon because, well, this is about when the ice should be breaking up in normal years. Also known as when the streams are again navigable because they're starting to fill up again. Also known as the budding moon of plants and shrubs, or moon of the red grass appearing, which means plant season in the warmer climates is starting to kick in. The grass is going to start growing. The Lakota call it the moon when ducks come back. And the Dakota call it when the moon when geese lay eggs. Which apparently, if they land on your roof, it sounds like someone drops a bowling ball on it.
Really?
Yeah. The Cree called it the frog moon. I don't know if you can hear them tonight, but here in the last couple weeks, the frogs have started singing here in the pond, which is nice. The Anishinaabe call it the sucker moon. So it's when you should be harvesting the suckerfish before they get too muddy, I guess. Because they're returning to streams and lakes that are to spawn. And so according to legend with the Anishinaabe, it is when the fish come back from the spirit world to purify the bodies of water and the creatures living within them. Let's see. No, get off my lap. Kimber, go visit Dawn. Oh, she wants to be on air so bad. Sort of. According to folklore, let's see, if a full moon in April brings frost, so supposedly it'll freeze yet some more, or if the full moon rises pale, you can expect rain, which April showers bring May flowers. So, pretty sure it's going to freeze, at least here, and rain, both. Did you know that in 1972, the Apollo 16 landed on the moon in April?
Sweet.
Wow. Do you know who was on it?
A couple astronauts.
You're stretching yourself so much there. Yeah, John Young and Charles Duke. Let's see. According to folklore, the period from the full moon through the last quarter of the moon is the best time for killing weeds, thinning, pruning, mowing, cutting timber, and planting below ground crops. Yes, yeah. So some people do plant according to the moon phases. So the Farmer's Almanac is generally pretty good if that's something that you pay attention to, or if that's what you're using as a guide. There are other sources. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what the other. There's another publication, but I don't remember what it is. That talks about planting with the moon, and it's just something that if it's your thing, do your research. And I would definitely be journaling that in a gardening specific journal. So, growing up, my dad gardened, and we had chickens and livestock and cats and dogs and pigs and goats and oh my. And when it was heat season for any of our critters, and if something was bred and we were expecting babies at some point, my dad would mark on the calendar when the joining had happened, and so we could kind of estimate when the babies would be happening. And that kind of thing, even now, he carries a little notebook around in his pocket because my dad is really old school. And he's got a little notebook right next to his flip phone. And if that's something that you do regularly, journaling or keeping notes or tabs on your gardening, like when you plant your peas or your corn or your tomatoes or whatever it is, that way you kind of have an idea when germination is happening, or if you have a 90-day to germination, or not germination, harvest, 90-day to harvest, like peas, for instance. If you plant them today, when are you going to be able to harvest them? That's an important thing in the farming community or the gardening community, and you should probably pay attention to it. Now, if you do hear about the pink moon, it does not mean the pink moon will actually be pink. It's just really, truly the flowers. Ugh. Don't mind my nose. There's Kleenexes over by Dawn. Awesome.
And score!
Yeah, you ricocheted. Alright. It's either that or wipe my nose in the microphone, and that's just kind of gross.
Oh.
Yeah,
You
right?
gotta be like that.
In your world, it's because I'm a girl. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
there. Dawn is now on the camera.
How does it look?
You're pretty centered.
Sweet.
Yeah. Marie's expecting snow.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. That's horrible.
Yeah.
I hate snow.
You live in the way wrong area then.
I know. I am well aware.
Okay. I don't know what to tell you, but no. So, yeah. I like snow. I like I like all 4 seasons.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. My coffee's getting cold. It's so weird. It's just Marie and you and me and Nightshade and Paul. Hi, Paul.
What happened to Lucky?
Lucky was texting me.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Lucky. You're being shouted out.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. Yes, it is good that the nose works. The nose is working overtime, and is rapidly getting chapped. What else is new? So last night I wasn't on because of the migraine, which unfortunately, with the full moon coming up, I seem to get 1 or 2 of those, along with the new moon. Yeah, it's a good time. I hate the migraines. I've had them for 30 years. Yeah, about 30 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah. And interestingly, if nothing else, migraines should have told me that I was a witch because of the different processes that I would go into trying to get the migraines under control. It's like you drink the water, you take the pills, you eat the chocolate, you drink the coffee, you drink the Powerade, drink the water, you eat some protein. Actually, chocolate-covered peanuts are the best, or chocolate-covered M&M. Peanut
M&Ms?
Peanut M&Ms are the best, yes. And then try to get about 30 minutes of sleep, and I'm generally good. But the last couple of days, I don't know. The energy's shifting in the world. And I know that, like, here in the Pacific Northwest, we've been having more windstorms than ever before. And I've asked a couple of the local folks that have been around for a while. And no, we've had more wind here than ever in, like, an 18-month period. It's insane.
They're painting the skies.
I don't think that's what it is, honestly.
Okay.
They are, but that's not the only thing.
Anyhow, let's not get off on that.
I know, that's talking about a rabbit hole. Have you heard of the Schumann resonance?
Yes.
What do you know about it?
Nothing. I should. For some reason, it's not coming in my head, though. But I do know what it is. I know of it.
All right, so it's basically the frequency of the Earth.
Yes.
Our frequency of the Earth's electromagnetic field.
Yes.
You know, some people believe that electromagnetivity does not affect people at all. Those are the same people who don't believe the full moon affect people too. So
I tell you
hi,
what.
Justin.
I tell you what. Turn off all of your electronics in your house.
Yeah.
I mean, like, unplug them.
Uh-huh.
Just unplug all your electronics for a week and see how you sleep. That includes your digital alarm clock, everything. See how you sleep.
I would sleep fantastic. But then I also grew up off the grid and I'm used to silence. Just the voices in my head talking to me.
Well, it's kind of nice when the power goes out. You know?
I know,
It's like,
right?
why is it so quiet?
Yes. I sleep really good when the power goes out. Right up until Mini-Me gets all freaked out because she's afraid of the inside dark.
Which makes no sense, does it?
I know. You think, are we afraid of the Dogman? No. Are we afraid of Bigfoot? No. Bear? No. Mountain lion? No. The inside dark. I don't get it. Oh, yes, Marie, I did feel the energy wave this week. Did you, Mr. Don?
Well, I don't know. It's been a weird week.
Yes. So I felt energy on Wednesday, and it felt like I gained about 30 pounds in 2 minutes. It was insane. It just hit me hard. And I had to go take a nap.
You know what? Actually,
That would have been Wednesday.
Tuesday. Just, I was extra tired. I was really tired. My feet were so hurting so bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
It was weird. And yeah, it did. It's really too bad Lucky's not, online more.
That's
No.
okay. If she's watching on the big screen, she's doing other things.
Yeah, no. But she would totally pop in. She would have like 2 or 3 cents to add. I just feel like, so I'm a little bit, out of sorts. I had a couple of different show things I wanted to talk about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I walked from one room into the next without writing anything down and went through the physical portal that happens in everybody's house when you leave one room and goes into the next.
Yeah, it's called the doorway portal.
Yeah, the doorway portal.
Doorway portal effect.
Yep, and my brain leaks out, and I remember nothing. It's awesome. Let's see. What was the resonance today? So yeah, the Schumann resonance earlier this week was apparently really kind of off the charts for about 8 hours. So it's a spectrum wavelength, of course. And and it was, way into the white levels, the upper levels of an energy blob. So yeah, and so often with the Schumann here in the northern hemisphere, at least, we get a lot of northern lights. So we had northern lights here this last week. They were seen in the area, which is interesting. I sleep through them anymore. Which is crazy because I remember as a kid, I would stay up all night and watch the northern lights. We'd climb on the barn and sit on the roof.
Oh.
Yep. And yeah, but no anymore. They could be happening.
it's like you turn 21, you stay up past midnight on January 1st, or December 31st. You hit 30 and you're like, it ain't that important. I'm going to bed.
And by the time you hit 40, it's 6 p.m. Hey kids, guess what? I'm setting the clock forward 3 hours. It's time for you to go to bed. Yeah, it has been kind of a weird week. So, Justin, if you're talking about the paranormal portal, from what I understand, Brent decided to take a spring break.
Yes.
And just need to take a break, which I totally get because, yeah, we all do that from time to time. And then yesterday, I had a bit of a migraine, and so no show. And then tonight, we're just kind of blathering on about stuff because why not? I don't want to get out of the habit. I did get my book published. Kindle version has clearer imagery than the print version. So, when we come back from the break, which happens in about 2 minutes, we're going to talk about that just a little bit because I have some opinions on Amazon publishing. Yeah, that actually was an interesting experience, but we'll talk about that when we come back from break. Yeah, just spring break, Justin. You didn't miss much. Yeah, spring break. Let's see. Except for Mini-Me, she didn't have spring break this week. She had fundraisers. What is it about today's schools doing fundraisers every time we turn around? She book sales, candy sales, yearbook sales. This week it was Papa Murphy's Pizza was doing a fundraiser, and then the fun run, which is cool. I donated to the fun run, which why not? But yeah, it's like, okay, it's a public school, Idaho.
Yeah. What happened to my tax dollars?
So here's what I think. In the state of Idaho, marijuana is not legal yet. And I say yet emphatically. I think Idaho should legalize it, tax it like they like to tax everything else, and put the funds into education and infrastructure. Maybe fix some roads up here in the northern part of the state. And yeah. Yeah. So lots of stuff happening. Yeah. I'm gonna wait and pick up Amazon come back from break. You got 20 seconds. You want to say anything?
Yeah.
What?
It's been a weird week, and I need ice cream.
You always need ice cream. There's a brownie left.
There's a brownie and a couple cookies.
Oh yeah, there are cookies.
Yes, there are.
I am taking a cookie hiatus.
Not me. Nope. Nope.
I wish.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. Anyhow, wow, yeah, it's been a week lacking in energy. I mean, it's just been just a lack of energy and just affecting a lot
everything.
Of people.
Yeah. The coffee's not strong enough.
Oh God, no, not lately.
Which is why I have the really big cup. All right. So after our first break, we'll see what happens with the bumper music. Worst case scenario, we've got some singing bowl, and we'll be right back.
Cue music.
I know, right?
Gosh, what's going
Where's
on?
the button? There's the button. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. So yeah, yeah, chat room's just talking about virus stuff. Let's see. So yeah, before the break, I mentioned publishing my book, which has been good so far. The feedback has been pretty on point, and I'm appreciating it. I got to see a copy of the book. And even though I exceeded the recommendations for the quality of the images I used, yeah, not as happy about the print quality as I could have been. So, I've had a couple of people ask me about my experience with Amazon publishing, and I have to tell you, if you do it, Kindle's easy. Print is a little more difficult, and if you're going to do the print version, make sure you use at least 300 dpi for your images, and before you tell people that you have a printed book, get a copy. That way you can be grouchy about it and get it fixed before people start buying it. So yeah, that's my biggest set of 3 cents there.
Growing pains.
Yeah, growing pains. Yep, it's an interesting thing, and I learned some stuff. But yeah, so the book will be available on the website. Again, that's PaisleyWild.com. Yeah, I do. So it's kind of a delayed reaction on the mute there, Mr. Don. Good thing you're already muted.
Yeah, I am.
Anyways, so yeah, interesting. I've got some copies anyways coming. So yeah, those will be available. They're being shipped slow boat. Yeah, slow boat. And then the Hectic Eclectics crowd here is in talking to a couple of the folks, including Julia. We're going to be creating some spell jars, so those will be available on the website also. And also some protection charms like stars that you can craft on your own, so kid crafts basically. That will be available on the website as well. And I don't know why it had to be a light bulb moment, but I was reading stuff here a while back, and it was basically as you are leaving your house, you touch your star or whatever it is you have hanging on your front door or your back door, whatever door you're exiting. And you reset your wards. You touch it, basically saying, "All right, this is my lock," and yeah, exactly. And I'm setting my lock, or I'm setting my wards before I leave, so that my house is protected energetically. Also, and it's like derp. I have a Tree of Life dream catcher. Hanging on the back of the front door, and it's like, derp, why have I not been doing that? Yeah. I am old enough that my derp moments should be fewer, but if anything, they keep happening, and I'm just noticing them more. So I'm not, at least I can notice them myself. So yeah. The stars will be kind of that same thought process, either a craft you can make with your kiddos to make your own stick stars, or if you want to do it as a protection type emblem, yeah, you can absolutely do that too. So in doing some research for the different crafts and stuff we're going to have on the website, that has been interesting, and talk about a whole variety of pricing. So, on that note, real quick, for the most part, the pricing is going to be set. Will there be the occasional coupon? Yeah, because that's just who I am. But just like any other small business, when it comes to purchasing things, you know, the markup's not going to be that much, and the people creating the crafts or owning the business and selling the things deserve to make a little bit too. It's not like I'm selling a coronavirus vaccine.
Quit saying those words.
I knew.
Gosh.
I know, but if they didn't make it so easy to poke fun at them, it'd be better, maybe. So, but yeah. Ooh, hold on. There, Mr. Don has his ears back on.
Okay, there we go.
And his microphone's on my end, but not on his end.
No, it's on.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay.
Because I can hear me. Yep.
Just because the voices in your head are loud enough for you to hear you doesn't mean... Yeah. So, what else is going on? Oh, I've got... I'm probably going to end up having several of the books published, a couple different books in the series. It'll be just the Wild Pagan, WILDE for Wild. It'll be the series, bunch of kids' books. And part of the reason for that is because there is a rather large demand for children's books that are more pagan-esque than there are being provided. Which, on the one hand, is kind of sad. On the other hand, I totally get it. There's a lot of stuff when it comes to paganism that really doesn't even make the PG-13 cut. I mean, in today's society, at least here in the U.S., when you talk about any of the elder religions or elder
people just
gods,
start chewing their fingers off.
Well, yeah, there's that, and the assumption that anything to do with the elder gods is bad or horror movie type stuff. Yeah, satanic. Ouija board. Although I gotta tell you, Ouija board is what, age 6 and up or age 8 and up?
8 and up. Last time I saw.
Still,
Could be 5 and up by now.
right? All they have to do is know their alphabet.
Yeah, it's amazing. When I was in school, you could read the Satanic Bible in class, but you couldn't read the Bible. I always thought that was kind of interesting.
You know, that makes no sense.
Yeah, makes no sense at
Hey,
all.
Richard.
So, anyhow.
So, yeah. Let's see. So, next weekend. Is it next weekend? Yes. May 1st, May Day. Beltane is coming up.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. I was part of the reason with, it's really on my, my brain's just not working. So, sorry, migraine, hangover, those are real. So, I did the scheduling for the Hectic Eclectics coffee for tomorrow, right? And because I didn't realize that tomorrow is the last Sunday of the month.
Okay.
Anyways, it's like, oh no, I better hurry up and do the May one so I don't forget. So the May one is already scheduled.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, May Day coming up. Beltane is a Celtic word, by the way, which means, loosely translated, the fires of Bel. And Bel is a Celtic deity, so it's a fire festival. Celebrates the coming of the summer and the fertility of the coming years. So it seems like a lot of the pagan holidays are fiery celebrations involving alcohol.
She could figure.
Well, so pagans were the first bonfire revelists. So Beltane generally happens about halfway between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. And it wasn't always May Day. May is just an aftermarket application. Oh yeah. My brain is just not firing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what is it? Well, it's a within a lot of the, especially the neo-pagan group, there's 4 different festivals that happen per quarter, approximately, and Beltane is one of them. It's to celebrate the return of summer. If you want more information, go to beltane.org. It's a really good website. It talks about Beltane. Beltane is Beltane, and yeah, everybody dances around a fire. It's originally Gaelic, and the ways observed today started in the mid to late 80s, 1980s, and it just keeps growing. University of Edinburgh really got involved because, well, they drink a lot there. And the origins, of course, are often very mythological and historical in nature. There's, unfortunately, with a lot of the historic celebrations, there's not a lot in print. And I've talked about this in the past. And a lot of it is word of mouth that's been passed down over the millennia, because things didn't used to be written down. Once upon a time, writing was part of the
Scholarly pursuits.
it was a scholarly pursuit, or even before scholars were a big deal, it was a priestly pursuit. So within the priesthood, the priest and priestess priesthood, that's where you learned how to write, and you were tracking things. So scribes were a big deal. So if you wanted to send your letter to Great Aunt Sally, you went and had a scribe jot down the letter, and it would be shipped to wherever Great Aunt Sally lived, and then the scribe would have to read it to Great Aunt Sally, which nowadays we look at that and it's like, seriously? That's really convoluted. Why didn't just Great Aunt Sally learn how to write and read? Well, once upon a time, it was more important to eat than it was to learn. And so there wasn't as much time available to learn about writing things. Instead, it was important to learn about farming and hunting, taking care of animals, animal husbandry, weaving. Weaving was a big deal. And, taking care of your household or your family.
Well, people
or
just struggled to survive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, 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 truly. And so a lot of what we see as normal today in our society and things that we have to have, like education, food to eat, electricity to read and do the things by. I mean, the amount of electricity being used in a 10-foot radius of me right now is probably pretty insane. And that has not been the norm. And it's about as abnormal as you could possibly get. It's only been within the last century that was even, most of it was on the list of possibilities. Unless you were Nostradamus, then you could see things anyways. But
with enough nutmeg, anybody can see things.
there are other things you can take to see things.
That's true.
Just ask Justin. He knows stuff. But so a lot of what we see as normal today was really truly the height of the elite. Being able to write was a special thing. Being able to communicate with people using the written word, or learn music or anything like that the way we do today, was something only the elites and the upper classes were learning, if then. So when it comes to like the festivals and such, it was a time to get out and have a good time. That was it. Dance around the fire, drink some alcoholic beverages, which I've made mead, I've made wine, I've made hard cider. Honestly, it's pretty easy to ferment stuff. If you've ever had a child that's left a cup of anything sitting on the counter, you know this. And it's, that fermentation of stuff to drink. And then, you went out and had a good time. People sang songs because they learned the words. They danced to a drum because rhythm, you don't have to know words or numbers to learn rhythm. A lot of the pipes were more like a harmonica or a reed flute or a recorder like kids learn in grade school today. And it wasn't as complicated or as complex as even, going down the pub and listening to the live band on Saturday night. So, sorry, squirrel. Justin says he was watching a live show earlier where they complained about people hunting. Yeah. You could almost throw a fish net out of the window as you're driving down the road this time of year and catch a flock of turkeys.
Them turkeys are big right now.
Yeah, they are.
The white ones are huge.
Yeah, they look over the hood of the car, and I've got one of those crossover vehicles. Yeah. Boy, and they don't taste like the store-bought turkeys.
No,
they're
don't.
a little gamier, but then they're
Wild game.
yeah. And then like deer here are about the size of a Great Dane, so you would need a lot of them too.
You could 3 turkeys equal 1 deer.
Pretty much. I had a friend visit, and she saw the deer. I may have said this last weekend. I don't remember. And she asked, "What are those things out in the field?" It's like, "You mean the deer?" She goes, "Yeah. Are those full grown?" It's like, "Yes, deer. Those are full grown deer." She goes, "But they're so small."
Yeah, we don't have 200-pound muleys up here.
Well, they're whitetails in the Midwest, but they're just corn fed. Yeah, Justin, it does seem like there's a real push to suppress knowledge. That's why I'm surprised anymore that there are still so many holistic courses being offered, learning about herbology and such, going outside to learn things. Even the local mushroom hunting club is still going strong. I mean, hello, they're hunting mushrooms. You can socially distance when you're out hunting morels. I mean, it's
You get the good ones, you forget about all that stuff.
yeah, right. And we did homeschool Mini-Me, but for the first part of the school year, honestly, she needed the interaction with kids her own age. She was just losing her focus. And so going back to what I think was good for her for a little bit till she gets a little bit older. That, or I need to make more fermented beverages or get a still. I'm not sure which. So yeah, it's being able to celebrate the return of the season where we start planting things and getting ready to move to the season where we harvest the things. I don't know. I think it's a good thing. I think it's good that, at least for some of us, we are aware of the seasons turning and where our food is coming from. And I think that's going to be more important as we move forward. Food deserts are a real thing. And
Those are created, by the way.
oh, I know.
They're created.
Oh, of course they are. But they don't know that they're created. The people who live in them don't know that they're created.
That's true.
But it's not that hard to garden, guys. You can even have a couple of pots with herbs on your window ledge. I've got them. But being able to raise your own food, and that's something we've gotten away from because, well, it takes a pretty big garden to support a family anymore. Well, no, it always has, not just anymore. It always has. But we don't always have the time and the energy to raise that big garden and the knowledge to know how many rows of potatoes or beans that we need to plant to make sure we have enough stuff to last the whole season. And that's something that a lot of the food deserts really don't understand. It's just where their food is coming from. It was funny, Mini-Me had a question about that. And it's like, well, some people don't know where milk comes from. She goes, but it comes from cows. And I go, well, yes, you know that, but not everybody does. She goes, well, how can they not know it comes from cows? She's very confused by this. And it's like, well, they've never seen a real cow. She's like, just flummoxed because if we have to go into town, we're driving by a couple hundred head of cows at any given time.
And llamas.
And llamas and horses and yes. And anyways, I told her, well, some people feel that milk and meat, like bacon and sausage and all that stuff that she loves because she's a total meativore, comes from a grocery store and doesn't actually come from animals. And she's, what? Totally blew her little 6-year-old mind. So here she is, 6 years old, and she understands where food comes from better than people 4 times her age that live in these food deserts that just don't have a clue.
I knew somebody who believed that milk came from a box on the shelf at the store.
Well, it has to come from somewhere to get into the box.
But it's dry. Of course that doesn't come out of a cow. Nothing dry comes out of a cow.
Okay, that's a pretty true statement. Okay, then. With all these businesses that have closed down in the big cities, especially with the shutdowns and the offices closing and everything, they should really be turning those into horizontal gardens. Or not horizontal, but vertical gardens. I mean, think about it. Some of those floors can support tons of weight. You can raise a lot of tomatoes and potatoes there. Just saying. So, yeah, pay attention to where your food's coming from. I am not a big proponent of organically raised food just because there's a lot of ick on your organic foods, just like there is on your commercially processed foods. But just knowing where your food comes from is better. Just reading what Justin said. A 20 by 20 skiff boat in British Columbia, and the whole thing was a 3-layered garden.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yep.
Yeah, those dry cows are called overcooked. that's the only dry cow I know, Justin.
So, well done.
Yeah, too well done.
Dry cow. It's called leather.
Oh, no.
Okay, I can't repeat that one. Dawn could, but I can't. So, I swear, Drama walked by and just cat hair fluffed everywhere. That's the other thing. I know it's spring because the cat hair is in the air.
Oh, no doubt.
Right next to the pollen.
Yeah, she was sitting on my lap last night, and it was like, oh, gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Cat hair in the nose. It's a fantastic feeling. So, about a minute before our top of the hour break. Yeah.
Already?
Yeah.
Today's just kind of a BS session, huh?
Yeah, it really is. I had a plan, but we've already come over it. Milk comes only from tame milking type. Well, no, you can get milk from wild cows. Just be ready. It's not as easy.
That's not a cow.
So, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, my
Couldn't
stars.
resist that one.
I know you couldn't. You had to. I get it. So, yeah, Beltane next weekend. Pink Moon is day after tomorrow, or tomorrow, depending on where you're at. And top of the hour, we'll do Singing Bowl and the Ting Show when we come back. And Oh goodness. I don't know. We'll just keep talking about stuff for the next
Somebody
hour.
throw out a question.
Yeah,
Where's Titan when you need him?
I know, right? Exactly. Titan. Hello. Titan. 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 I can't channel my interviewer.
We haven't had a Titan ask a question in a while.
No, we really haven't.
Wow.
Yeah. Break time. We'll be right back.
Okay, break time.
Hello. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. So, hey, it is singing bowl time. I know what I want for Christmas. Yule.
New front teeth.
Hmm.
A hula.
No, I want a bodhran. A drum.
Oh.
I want a drum. Bang my drum. So, because I have nothing better to do, and actually I do have a lot of better things to do. Funny thing I saw on the interwebs this week. I don't know what you guys' weather is like, but the one that came across is I'm ready for the rest of this week. I have my umbrella, my flip-flops, my mittens, my suntan lotion, my winter coat, my sunglasses, my thermals, my iced tea, and my hot chocolate. It has really been like that this week. We've had freezing, we've had snow, we've had 70 degrees, we've had rain, we had a windstorm, thunderstorm. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't an avalanche warning. Wanda, it's, I don't know, what size is this?
What?
How big is this?
Uh.
It's about yay big.
Let's see.
That's how big it is. It's the Fibootable. It's got the lotus and some noise, and you get the 5 Buddhas and the ohms on it, and yeah, I like that one. I need a bigger desk to get all of the other ones down here so I can play them all at the same time. I did promise Lucky I would get an audio at some point with all the bowls going.
I thought you already did that.
With all of them? No.
Well,
That's a bit more of an adventure than Yeah, no, I haven't done that yet. But that would be fun.
oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness.
Don't do that.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
9 world drums: red stag, deer, elk, or horse rawhide.
Mm-hmm. So you can buy a kit for that. Richard says, Western Washington, rainy all day. Yes.
That's just Washington in general.
Man, my brain is not working. Wild Hunt. So I go to wildhunt.com.org.
Yes, go grab something off there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's Rome's 2,774th birthday.
Woohoo! Big deal.
Yep. Let's see. Really? There's nothing in here. They talk about sigils, Halloween house.
Why don't you look up the drum and talk about the drum and what it was used for?
So bodhran is Bodhran.
Yeah.
It's a drum. So that one specifically is a shallow one-sided Irish drum, typically played with a short-headed drumstick. So kind of like that one. Yeah, short one. So the one that most kids play with. But they're, hold on.
Okay.
I can't spell. So, drums. So drums have been used to help with ecstatic dancing.
Ecstatic dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've seen that. Generally, there's big shoes involved, but
Big shoes.
So
Okay.
let's see. So drumming has been around for a while, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. So it wasn't always drums. Sometimes it was just rhythmic tapping of antlers together or
Tree limbs.
Tree limbs. or a mallet on femurs or shoulder bones or pelvis bones from animals, that kind of thing. So drums have been around for ritualistic purposes for pretty much ever. Yeah. So a lot of times drums are used for ecstatic dance, which, man, I gotta tell you, I've never actually entered the state of ecstatic dance. I've never been to that kind of club, apparently. But there's a lot of people really get into the ritualistic drumming. Let's see. See if I can pull anything up. This is the downside of not having anything.
Planned.
Yeah. Especially when Titan's not around to ask a question. A lot of the ritualistic drumming is associated with shamanism, because the shamans were the players of the drum. If you've ever been to a powwow, you'll see the elders in a circle. They'll be singing the chants and pounding on the drums. That's what they do. It's a way of getting into the energy of whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. So sometimes it's getting ready to go on a hunt. Sometimes it was getting ready to go on a spirit quest. Sometimes to battle. But the energy of the drumming would increase the heart rate and everything, and the blood flow and the energy. Let's see. That's not what I wanted. That is a book. I don't want a book. Now, some entities or deities only respond with the rhythmic nature of a drum or percussive instrument. Some traditions feel that's the only time certain angels respond.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know. I won't say it doesn't happen. It could happen. Almost all cultures have some sort of percussive type of instrument.
Yes.
Man, this article goes off on the whole angel topic. I don't know, I get mixed feelings about the whole angel thing. I really do. I don't want to see. Sorry. So, for anybody who's ever researched for anything ever, it's sometimes hard to weed out the information online between fact and fiction, because there's a lot of fictional stuff out there. So supposedly, the drumming can activate your theta
Theta waves.
waves, which helps with focus and meditation, spiritual awareness. Wanda wants to know, why do women have the smallest drums in all the cultures?
I don't understand the question.
I don't know. I don't think women do have the smallest drums in all the cultures, other than we multitask, so sometimes we have to set them down and there's only so much room. Let's see. But theta waves, or theta infused music, for instance, will encourage your brain to produce fewer high frequency beta waves and more lower frequency theta waves, which will help you reduce your anxiety. So, when approaching a hunt or a battle of any kind, it'd be really, really important for the ancient tribes to participate in rituals where those waves or the theta waves would decrease, because you don't want to be dealing with anxiety as you know, get into a fight or go hunting, because a lot of times when in hunting, anxiety and increased heart rate,
Not a good thing.
no, it doesn't. It makes it harder to have a successful hunt. A lot of times you need patience when it comes to hunting. And if patience is,
What the hell was that?
I don't. It's a commercial.
Oh my god.
I just levitated. Did you levitate? I think the cat levitated. Goodness gracious me. Like I said, sometimes you have to wade through some of the crap online to find the things that make sense. I have no idea what I was saying because it's gone. Just gone. It ran away. So yeah. But anxiety, yes. If you're dealing with anxiety, this is why tapping is often really popular. It's where you rhythmically tap on yourself. Sometimes it's your chest, your arm, your face, your head, whatever.
We talked to a gal named Barb Charlton.
Mm-hmm.
She's a I don't know how to say it any other way, but tap therapist, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And she is apparently really good about that. And we know a couple people that have worked with her on a couple things, and they've really come a long way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that tapping is a very conscious initially to bring your anxiety under control. Justin wants to know, did pagan tribal rituals assign roles to people as far as gender and age are concerned, like Native Americans? Wow, that's a big one, Justin. So it depends. Some cultures were more patriarchal, some were more matriarchal, some put equal value. So
Well, Odin used to walk around.
Odin was complicated.
Odin walked around. Odin was like one of the original cross-dressers. He actually walked around the earth. He'd wander, dressed as a Volpa, and teach as a Volpa.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the original cross-dressing, god.
Well, I think with a lot of the deities, for instance, the gender was something they assumed at any given point because that's what they felt like doing, rather than being, Odin had to be masculine, because Loki gave birth also. I mean, it wasn't just oh, so I'm a dude now, or oh, I'm a girl. Zeus did the same thing.
Just says pretend I'm Titan. That's actually a good question though.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, it's kind of up in the air as if he actually changed sexes, or if he just dressed in drag per se, and taught as a Volpa. So yeah, in some way he did that.
Mm-hmm. So going back to the tribal rituals for gender roles, it varied with the different cultures. There's a lot of what we understand of the different cultures is directly related to the decade in which the information or the culture was discovered or rediscovered or started being researched. For instance, a lot of the Viking burial mounds were assumed to be all masculine, But they are learning that a lot of those Viking mounts were actually women instead of men. So the women could be just as fierce, if not fiercer, warriors than the men could be. And I think that was true kind of across the board. Now, were some cultures more trying to keep the woman in her place, if you will, or put different gender assignations to each, to people? Yeah, there were some, absolutely, because I mean, honestly, in humanity, only those with a uterus can give birth. But there was some shamanic type rituals or some shamans who did not have a gender, and so they were able to participate in different rituals and be that feminine part or feminine deity or play the role of a feminine deity, even though they weren't technically feminine themselves. They were more neutral or could go either way. And in some cultures, there was more than two genders. Even today, there's more than two genders in some cultures. And I'm not talking about the contemporary movement here in the U.S., but I'm talking about like the historical social norms in other nations around the world today. So, but that really does illustrate the point I was trying to make, is a lot of what we see as societal norms today, we look through those same lenses at ancient civilizations or historical civilizations, and we often interpret their civilization through what we're experiencing today.
Through our norms, norms.
So the assumption by a lot of the archaeologists in the 1800s and 1900s that women were at home and men were out, hunting. That was the assumption because that's the way society was at that time for us. So it I don't know, it varied. So and that's a mistake, I think, that we make as a society, is assuming that whatever is normal for us had to have been normal for other cultures. We see it in, excuse me, a lot of the wars and stuff that have been fought throughout history, is that if one society is at war with another society and they are from two different cultures, often the escalation of the battles or the war is worse because they don't have a common ground or they're missing some sort of connection. And that's just a misunderstanding. And sometimes those wars start because of that misunderstanding. And it's hard to come back from, breaking some religious taboo, even if it was inadvertent. So, excuse me. So, I don't know if that answered your question or not, Justin. Channeling your inner Titan. Anyways, so yeah, we often misunderstand the things we see or the things we observe just because we haven't experienced them. For instance, in the U.S. here, breastfeeding is not normalized, which I don't understand. It's been happening for pretty much ever, but it's not as accepted. Well, excuse me. A lot of that is the Victorian aspect or the Victorian view of sexuality in general. And we brought that over when the white people came from Europe. And, but yeah, boobs are boobs. They're there for food first and then entertainment.
Are you sure?
And then shoes.
Which came first?
The shoe or the boob? Um, so, yeah, just a lot of the tribes that get profiled for National Geographic, for instance, running around topless is very, very normal. If you run around topless in downtown Portland, you might get, people might stare at you a little bit, or downtown Chicago, you might get cold. But yeah, so I don't know. 4 minutes before our last break.
4 minutes.
Yeah,
Gosh.
turn your theta waves on.
Oh.
Theta waves actually show up a lot in.
Sleepy people.
Well, yeah, that too. But the frequencies that trigger theta waves happen, or they put them in a lot of your trying to go to sleep music.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know that, like, if I have a hard time sleeping, so yeah, sometimes I'll turn on the music quiet and low. But cat purrs, when a cat is purring and sitting on your lap, often they can trigger your theta waves also. Maybe not Drama, who's apparently hearing things, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Excuse me.
Goodness, yeah.
I know, right?
Just been no energy this week.
Nope.
Oh, God.
My coffee cup's empty.
So sorry. Goodness.
Yeah. Coffee cup's empty. I'm drinking water. It's not quite the same. Denali says, in Texas, it's not illegal to go topless if you're a woman. However, it is illegal to cause a scene. So I don't know. That just is bizarre to me. Here in Idaho, in Moscow, Idaho, where University of Idaho is, it's only been the last, I think, 10 years that they've passed any city codes where you had women had to wear clothes too. But somebody took the city to court, and men have to wear shirts too within city limits.
Oh, gracious.
Well, apparently there's a couple gals jogging topless, which honestly does not sound like a good time.
Hey, whatever.
You,
To cause a car accident or whatever, but,
poke out someone's eye? Yes.
let them puppies breathe.
Woof. Well, fun. Yep, and they're talking about weather again. Yes, weather is crazy. I don't know. Maybe we'll just play the singing bowl for the last half hour.
Oh, good.
You cannot fall asleep.
Oh, I don't know if I can hang on.
It's not allowed. I will come up with something when we come back from the break, because, yes, gotta have something. Yeah, there's a lot of people doing solo Beltane celebrations this year, just because.
Everything's so...
Yeah. Yeah, everything is not. Everything is. Yeah, it's weird. Ooh, what's this? So when we come back, I'm going to read an article from Pathos.com. It's 5 ways to get banished from my witchcraft shop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I like the first one right off the bat, so yes. So send me an email, wildpaisley@gmail.com, WILDEPAISLEY@gmail.com.
Denali Princess says, I would find jogging uncomfortable, period.
Yeah.
I agree.
I would have to send it for that one.
If I'm running, you better run too.
Right. It's 'cause there's a bear coming. So yeah, send me an email if you have show ideas or topics you want to learn more about and stuff like that. And yeah, so we're gonna go to break, and we'll be right back. If I gotta push the button.
Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, sing it unto me, the songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. So, for the last half hour of the show, we're going to talk about 5 ways to get banished from a witchcraft shop. So, this article is by Michelle Heron, and apparently she's got a witchcraft shop, and she's had it for about 12 years. And so, these are a couple of different things that have stood out, which, I totally get it. Working in a crystal and rock shop, there's a few things that really stand out. Like, we had a gal that got really mad when we told her that her son could not swing his skateboard around in the store. It's like, well, if he's got a $15,000, retainer he wants to leave at the front door, then sure, he can swing his little skateboard around all he wants. So in a rock shop or a crystal shop, there's a lot of boundaries that you have to kind of keep an eye on. And same thing in a witchcraft shop. So boundary tending is a real thing. And really important because in a rock shop or a metaphysical shop of any kind, there are going to be some boundaries. Not everybody's going to believe the same way. So keep that in mind. So number 1, Christian proselytization. So the attempt to convert a stranger by threatening immortal doom from their wrathful God is a form of religious extortion that is not abided. So you can be a faithful follower of Jesus, treating others with brotherly love and shop in peace, but if you start spewing hateful threats of hellfire and brimstone, you can leave. Okay. I work in a crystal and rock shop. Do you know how many people come in and get mad and say, it's witchcraft and it's devil worshipping to be in a rock and crystal shop?
Then why the hell are you there?
Right. Well, generally, it's someone who's been drug in by a different member of the family or friend or something. And it's like, you know what? If you are a Christian, don't you believe that God made the earth? Okay, if God made the earth, didn't he make the crystals and rocks? A lot of them are natural in the shapes that they're showing up in, and they're not man-made. A rock is a rock is a rock. Generally speaking, rocks don't have that many personalities. They're not pets. They don't need obedience classes at all. So, yeah, there's a lot of rhetoric that can show up in
Rhetoric.
Potato, and so just be aware. If you're in a rock shop or a metaphysical shop, just kind of
Just a bit closed.
Yeah,
Keep
don't.
it to yourself. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
Right. Ooh, another one is the creepin', the homophobic creepin' folks. Actually, I would say it doesn't really matter if it's homophobic, just the creepin' in general. So, a lot of metaphysical type shops do have a lot of gay pride merchandise and symbology or assumed symbology. Often folks go into a metaphysical shop that are gay in some way, shape, or another. It's because they're being accepted and they like feeling accepted. So, yeah, don't be creeping. And if you do see someone creeping, it doesn't matter where you are. Just shut them down.
Get them out.
Yeah. It could be the grocery store. It could be anywhere. It doesn't matter. If someone's creeping, it's unprofessional if they work there. It's unnecessary if they don't. And it's just icky. So just be aware if you walk into a metaphysical shop or a crystal and rock shop or any kind of shop whatsoever. Yeah, if you're going to hit on someone, they say stop. Period. Yeah. There's no need to be like that. I know that I have told people to go away and to leave the store. Just because, like, you know what? We don't need that kind of attitude personality in the store. Just like the lady who got upset because we wouldn't let her son, run around with his skateboard.
Yeah.
We go outside and tell people to stop playing with skateboards on the steps, too. Or the railings, because, it's just rude. Don't be rude.
Oh, it's dangerous, too. I mean, if they don't want to admit the danger to themselves, at least admit the danger that they present to... And it's on the corner. So there's a street on two sides.
Oh, yeah, we saw a kid last fall. He was trying to do some sort of trick off he hopped up on one side, came down on the other, misjudged the landing, and took a header. We didn't have to call the emergency room, but we did make him call his mom because he was leaking. Yeah, it's like, here, have some paper towels, you're bleeding. Clean it up. So, yeah. Number 3 on this list is verbal abuse. Let's see. So this particular instance, the gal saw kind of a creepy dude with a deaf girlfriend, and he'd been creepy in the past, and the creepy dude was trying to convince his girlfriend to buy things, and she got upset and got mad at him, and then he starts apologizing for her causing a scene. And you know what, just if you hear verbal abuse, don't be afraid to stand up and say something, especially if it's in a store or something. I know that we have stepped up at the store where I work and said, hey, that kind of behavior is not okay. It's just not acceptable within the store. In part because, well, it's not okay. I mean, that's the big part. And also in part because, well, we have kind of a safe space for everybody. It's the energy in a metaphysical shop or a rock shop is generally pretty good. Or at least it should be. And you don't want some knucklehead coming in and being a jerk and, vomiting his attitudes everywhere. I don't want to hear a child having a temper tantrum in a grocery store. Well, I certainly don't want to hear an adult have a temper tantrum in a grocery store. So, if you see something like that, especially if it's between two people, and one has a limitation like that where they aren't hearing what's going on, there are other ways to handle that situation. I know that, like, for instance, today in the shop, we had a guy come in. He was trying to sell a set of crystals, and he wanted to talk to the boss. And it's like, sorry, our buyer's not in, and we generally don't, just purchase rocks from people off the street. And he wanted somebody that was an employee to buy them, and we're all like, sorry, nope. Well, you could smell the booze on him, and you probably get high on meth just by bumping up against him. It's not the kind of crystals he was selling, but man, they could have been. And you got to be careful with that kind of thing. And if you see something that makes you uncomfortable, or that is an obvious abusive situation, you know what? We got to do more and step up and say something. It's frustrating to me when I read a story online or see something in the news where, person A and person B are having an altercation where person A is being, assaulted in some way, shape, or form, say something. Approach them. Be safe about it. But don't just let that kind of a crime or that situation happen without you know just just don't ignore it. I mean, if that means you call law enforcement, call law enforcement. Don't just take a video of it so you can post it to your social media feed later. I think that is about the most disrespectful thing ever. If you see a crime and you just want to, take a picture of it so you can post about it, it's like, oh, hey, I saw this uncomfortable thing and I did nothing, but hey, I took a picture. You're as bad as the person that did the thing, just about. It's kind of like if you're driving down the road and you see a car accident happen in front of you, you don't take pictures of the busted up cars and the people who were in the accident so you can post them on social media. I mean, that's not okay. I mean, what if their loved one doesn't know that there was a car accident yet, and they find out about it on social media? I mean, that if I had a loved one who got into a car accident, I wouldn't want to find about it on Twitter or Facebook or something like that. That's just rude. That's not okay. So, I mean, stop and think about what you're doing. Are your actions, moving and working towards your own higher good, or are they not? If they're not, then why the bloody hell are you doing it? Just why? So number 4 on this list is entitled trespassing. Let's see. So it was a retail. So here locally we have art walks. They had something similar in the article. So there's an unknown vehicle in the parking lot. So as a courtesy, they called the surrounding parking or restaurants to say, hey, if the car isn't moved, that they're going to call the towing company. It may not be the nicest solution, but it's relatively fast. So the car got moved, but just got, moved 10 feet over and is now in a fire lane and blocking pedestrians and fire trucks, which is really illegal. They said, hey, you know what? It's illegal. And so the guy that owned it says, oh, I always park in that spot at night, because he's owner of the restaurant at the end of the alley and they don't have any particular private parking. And it's like, well, you've always been trespassing, so pay attention. Hold on. Just a minute, Justin. Basically, there's assumptions that people who have a parking lot are willing to just, let it go at night. But if you're trespassing, you're trespassing. If you're in the fire lane, you're in the fire lane. If you're blocking traffic, you're blocking traffic. Don't be a jerk about it. Don't be a jerk about it. All right. Hey, Oregon, you're on the air.
Am I unmuted?
You're unmuted. How's it going?
Hey, not bad. I know the show's almost over, but I just wanted to chime in real quickly on your last point about people just standing by when there's something, insane going on, or when there's someone being attacked, or something just completely inappropriate going on. Why are people just standing by? Our little town that we live in here in Oregon, we live in a little town called Rainier. It's right on the border of Oregon and Washington, right on the Columbia River. And our sheriff was actually killed with his own gun. And people in 5 businesses watched this guy wrestle with this drug addict until the sheriff's gun fell out And the drug addict grabbed the gun and killed the sheriff with his own gun in front of 5 businesses. People stood around this business or this action, this thing that happened. And it took 7 years for them to attempt to convict this guy. And he ended up basically in a mental institution and not really charged with anything. So the widow never got, and she was our next door neighbor. Mm-hmm. She never got justice for that situation. And what it's, what we're coming to is really sad, and it's really scary to me. And it's really kind of escalated my thinking of, what's really going on, at least on the West Coast. I know a lot of people don't see that kind of thing in a lot of states in the U.S. for sure, but things are coming to some really scary.
Mm-hmm. There seems to be this trend right now in U.S. society where people are more willing to observe and do nothing than to stand up and pick a side. There's so many people that are afraid of doing the wrong thing that they won't commit to a decision or to do a thing. And it's frustrating. Because if you don't commit, then what are you doing?
What do you stand for?
Yeah, what do you stand for?
Right. You don't want to do the wrong thing, but you're not doing the right thing either. And
exactly.
I just don't know how you could possibly stand there and watch someone go through that without getting involved somehow. I mean, I personally can't. I don't even care if there's a gun involved or anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, I see, I don't know. I guess some people have more
bigger blinders.
Concern for humanity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get out of here, cat. I'm sorry.
Wasn't my cat. It's okay.
Yeah, we have a big outdoor cat that we don't let him in because he sprays everything. Even though he's fixed, he'll still spray. And but he's an excellent hunter, so we treat him pretty well outdoors.
Yeah, he can get the gophers. So it's if you've ever studied history, and I'm thinking of some of the issues that happened in Rome before Rome fell. Society takes this interesting turn where it starts to kind of cannibalize on itself. And I think we're seeing some of that. Now, can we come back from it? Yes, absolutely we can. Is it getting harder as time goes on? Yes. Yes, it is. And I don't know, it's part of the reason why Mini-Me is in martial arts. And I think some sort of self-defense should be taught to pretty much everybody. Because you never know.
It's weird that we, there used to be this time when people helped each other. And now we've been told that, you can't do this, you can't do that because you'll end up, with some of the blame pinned on you. Like, for example, the sheriff that you were just talking about earlier, there was a time when anybody would have jumped in and helped the cop, but now cops are verboten. You can't help cops. You can't do that. It's not the moral thing to do, but the problem is that the person who the cop was interacting with was apparently either under suspicion of doing something or being, questioned or, examined for some reason. Now, if a fight breaks out, I'm going to say 99% of the time it's not the cop that's going to strike the first blow in general. Now, there are situations where, it's kill or be killed, or stop the action. Because when I was in law enforcement, they taught us to stop the action, and that was in self-defense or in defense of others. So there's a lot of there's no gray area, it doesn't seem anymore, where people can jump in and be the good Samaritan without being ostracized or penalized in some way. And that's really, really sad, because isn't that what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to protect people that can't protect themselves. Or in the case of the cop and the person who was he was having an altercation with, wouldn't it be better to jump in and help the cop and then let justice take over? Because when you're talking about a cop, there is always that chance that cop's firearm or taser, or the taser, the firearm that looks like a taser, gets loose, and you don't want that, because anybody can get hurt at that point. So people are scared. 99% of the time, if you help a cop, you're not going to get in trouble over it, unless you're not going to get in trouble over it because you're doing what is perceived as correct in the first place.
Exactly. But in this case, these were, at least one of the businesses had to have been the person that called the police.
Right.
Because this guy was acting unruly and freaking out in the parking lot in front of their businesses. It was it's like a little strip mall,
Right.
It's a little circular mall area with lots, there's like an auto repair company, and there was an apparel company and a dispensary and all this stuff around in this little alcove thing. And someone called the police because this guy was doing something crazy.
Right.
And he was obviously, on drugs. So even the person that called the police didn't come out to help the cop. They just, call someone in to fix the problem or whatever. And the sheriff was just trying to basically escort him off the property. And the guy lost it.
Craziness.
That's
I'm
crazy.
sorry.
But
it's scary.
Yeah.
For no one to come to his aid is a pretty sad point in society, when we're just we can't even come to someone's aid when it's that.
So
we were taught
apparent.
we've been being taught that it's not our problem, and it's not our business, and you should not step into it, so.
But I think we owe it to mankind, to our society, that we need to take better care of one another. So we're just about done, Justin. But so thank you for calling in. And I'm sorry about your neighbor and the sheriff. That's rough. And that's not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean to bring things down.
No,
I just wanted to really
No, it's okay,
talk about
because
that,
it's
because
we
you
were
brought it up
talking about.
Right.
So, well, yeah. So on that note, that's actually not a bad spot to end on, honestly. And what can we do in the coming week? As we're moving towards May Day and all that, and what can we do to better society? Not just ourselves, but the people around us, our families, our communities, our friends. And, if we don't stop and think about, what we can do to help the people around us, I think we're going to have more problems. So yeah, challenge for the week. Yeah, what can you guys do what can we do to help the people around us, not just ourselves, as we get ready to celebrate with a fire festival. So we're done for the night. Thanks, Justin.
Thanks, Justin.
And be back next Friday. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. So thanks for joining tonight. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. And we'll see you all next week. And check out pagetheworld.com. Thanks, all. Oh, why can I never find the button? Right? It's like all the time.
I'm always told I know exactly where the button